Okay, checking audio. Just starting up. All right, I'm gonna keep with the fucking headphones in. Okay, I think things are going well. Another no promo on this. I didn't tell everyone I was doing this, so probably gonna have hopefully maybe some stragglers come through, but yeah, I don't know if anyone's gonna pop up on stream. All right, just the other thing. How we doing? Uh, what do we got today? Okay, what did I watch? Or I'll give it a second, actually. Um, so last night I watched a movie. I watched Obsession. A lot of talk about this movie. A lot of, you know, there's been a lot of hype around it. Here, let me see if I can pull up a fucking visual for you guys. It would be my first like desktop type deal. Ooh, get my glass in frame. Come on, come on, Wi-Fi. Open image in new tab. Can I make this bigger? Okay, here we go. Let's see, desktop. That's kind of ass. See this one? That's kind of ass as well. I'll just make this. Just resize it, I guess. And then well, I guess I can make let's see if I can put the camcorder as well. Hmm, I don't know. I think it's fine. Uh, I say it's fine, but then I'm gonna try to add it right now. Scene, camcorder, move it to the back. Okay, that's a bit better. All right, so I did watch Obsession. I mean, actually, it's fine. I did watch Obsession last night, and it was really interesting. I watched it with my mom, and let me formulate my thoughts. I think, oh, I'm still not used to being on stream, bro. It's very nerve wracking. Um, but this is a good session. Gonna get me comfortable. Um, but I watched this with my mom for. I was kind of did it on a whim because I heard a lot of good things. I heard like kind of the story about made by a YouTuber Curry Barker, and I think that's just like an interesting story that I haven't heard before. Well, guess technically I have with the Talk to Me movie, um, but I hadn't seen Talk to Me. I guess I should, um, and that Talk to Me and Bring Her Back were made by a YouTuber, um, and then yeah, I also know another director got their start on YouTube, Kane Parsons with the new Backrooms film coming out. Um, I think that's what his name is, but that's really exciting to hear. And I think it's just going to show kind of how unconventional the space is right now with just film and just like all the industries. I think it's like kind of like meshing with the internet culture a lot and just opening a space for young creators. So that's exciting knowing that I want to be that. Um, and hopefully uh, I'll keep on the trajectory. We'll see how things go, but you know, I think it's just like cool to see. And yeah, I was really blown away by this movie. I was like driving home. It's like I went to see a 10 o'clock show, so we were driving home with my mom at like um 12, 1 o'clock. Um, and our hearts were just beating because really, like, it is a very simple concept of just, so basically the concept is that this guy has this crush on this girl and he's like fawning over her, pining over her, but he's kind of, you know not open about his feelings, wants to say it but is unable to. So then when he's like sad because no one his this girl that he likes is not, reciprocating his feelings, and um he's not even able to say them out loud. He's like, let me just, make a wish on this, like, this is like the MacGuffin of the movie. So they have um the one wish willow thing, and uh he makes a wish. He's like, I wish, I forget her name, Nikki blah 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 loves me more than anyone else in the fucking world. Boom, breaks it. And now it just starts this obsession because his dream does come true and she does become obsessed. Now, I think what makes this film interesting is they played it with a lot of nuance, and it wasn't like where she comes in and she's just like immediately like maniacal. She's like, she still feels like um she still feels like a person, and she doesn't feel like completely possessed, but like at first, um and but there's just like something off-putting about just her actions and the way she moves. And they really, with the film, they really like, it's always, you're always on edge because you never know, you have this expectation of her blowing up and you never know what's going to make her snap. um and they always like, at first it's like keep on teasing it, like how much she's gonna go. Like at first she's just like looking at him really hard and like not letting him out of her sight. um there's like this one scene in the beginning where it's like, she's able to like leave him alone for a bit, and uh she's able to drive home with her friends and not have to be with him. So it feels like, there's like not this, huge obsession yet, and there's like able to have some separation, but as it goes on, it just keeps on getting larger and larger and larger, and then, you know, the bomb keeps on ticking, 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 and then there's just like a huge explosion um at the end. Um I don't want to spoil, so I'm not gonna say too much, but yeah, really good. Um yeah, very intense. Like, oh my gosh, it was just like uh the level of uneasiness and just the performances by both the guy and the girl who's obsessing over him um are just really great. Um and the guy is like so annoying, low key. Um and he has like very he becomes a lot more morally gray, I'll say, as he goes on, and then like completely is like, what are you doing at the end. Uh, but very interesting. Just very. It's interesting as a film itself, but it's also interesting industry wise and culturally wise. Just seeing like what is grabbing people because this did have such a big opening. Um, so it's just really like cool. Um, okay. Trying to think of like what else pops out about like without spoiling. Um, I think also I was watching some interviews after. I think the ending they had very different ending and a lot of like the nuances came through afterward. Like it was a lot more simple and like I guess more like the original ending that they had perceived or not perceived wrote up was a lot darker and a lot more I guess nihilistic. I don't know for sure if I'm using that correctly, but it's like almost like there's no good in the world. Um, but I think the ending that they did get was really just like puts the thread through the needle, the eye of the needle, and gets it. So you have this smallest sense of hope, but it's also just at the same time so devastating. Um, and yeah, I was like completely just the main girl's performance is so good and so like unnerving. I'm gonna switch off this, but like it's great. Like what they would do a lot is like they have like here I'll do it with the cam, but like they'll have like this empty space like where someone will be. Like just imagine some uh, oh okay. It's like I'll do it like this. There'd be a scene when like it's kind of I guess cliche, but just like standing in the corner. There's like oh Blair Witch like this. Well, I'll turn out this light. Wait. Let me get the shot right. You see all my posters and shit. Let's do a recreation of Blair Witch. Well, creepy, creepy. Let's see if I can make these shots more. Yeah, I'll turn on this mic just in case. Let's see. Yo, yo. Mm, mm, mm. Uh, I'm freaky deaky. Freaky deaky, yo. Can I? Oh, it's not plugged in. Hold up, hold up. Here. forgot I have a charger here. Plug in LEDs. Okay, now let's try to make something scary. Ooh, this looks kind of sick on this cam. Ooh, it's a Paranormal Activity. Oh, wait. Ooh, like that. Should be like there, like that. Oh my god. You wouldn't notice it? And then be like, cut to black. And then cut to... Like, what's a good... What? Let me see if I can make this creepier. Oh, I'm getting a little creeped out myself, I feel. Go back to sleep. I watched a scary movie. Ooh, we're freaky. We're freaky here. She's after me, man. She's after me. Let's do like a... Let's see if I have like a... I have this. It'd be in the corner. It's like Chucky or something. You see it? Oh god. Oh shit, man. Oh my fucking... Turn on the lights. Turn on the lights. It would be cool if I had another person here, and then I could actually do like a cool horror shot. Like imagine he started moving. Imagine that. Imagine he just did like a little wave. Ooh. But yeah, super freaky. I think with horror, there's so much emphasis on the sound design and the editing choices and just like I think it's interesting that a lot of comedy writers are coming into the horror scene, because I think it is a lot about there's the idea of comedic timing, but then there's also the idea of horror timing, because you had to know how just the amount of time to let things sit. And I thought it was also like cool that the guy who... Let me just make sure this is coming through actually. Hello. It is not coming. Here, I'm gonna put it back on the host. Hello. What's going on, bruh? I'm confused. Is it working or not? Because it says it's on. But if I did... It says it's on. But if I did... It says it's on. But if I did... It says it's on. Oi. Okay. Yeah, it should be fine. Anyways, um, uh, I think it's interesting that a lot of people from the comedy space, like Jordan Peele, and this guy Curry Barker, um, are coming into horror, because at the same time there's comedic timing. I think there's a lot of timing in horror that like you have to know the exact amount of time you need to let things sit and be uneasy and then have that tension and release, to make things work. And I think the the ear, because I think it's about sound. I think the ear for comedy and the ear for the horror timing is the same almost in some ways. Um, and it's really cool that he edited the film. And I was watching an interview about him, like talking about the process, about like uh, editing and everything, and how the minute, just extra couple frames can change the feel of it, and having those moments sit is super important. And I think it was just really well on the sound front and the sonics, especially in the theater. Like, that's when you should go to the theater, because, as much as it's nice to have it on the screen, in the communal space of a theater, I think the sound is one of the big things that I like love about it. Um, Especially, like I said, especially in horror, because you slowly feel it rising. And they did it interesting, as in they didn't like use music. I mean, they did sometimes, but music to, crescendo. Like, they would just use like the room tone sometimes. I feel this like, I watched it from last night, so I'm not remembering everything clearly. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But um, I still think this is a good like idea or um, concept, which is to have like the room tone rise, and just like the air and the atmosphere, and people are already on edge because they know, and like in a lot of scenes they know that something's gonna happen. Like, there's no way that nothing happens, and if nothing happens, then like it's it's still adding to the effect, like you're waiting for that release to like move to the next scene, or you're waiting for the release of finally like boom horror jump scare, um, and they just did jump scares really well, um, and I think that's a hard line to tell nowadays, because I think people are so like desensitized and bored of the common jump scares, and it feels a little bit like cliche, trite, whatever, because it's like so overdone, and it's such like an easy, low hanging fruit type of scare. Um, but I think they did it really well and did it a lot more unconventionally. Like I said, just like rising the room tone, rising the sound of the air conditioner, and it's like um, almost like a white noise riser and like a fucking EDM track, like um, and then yeah, just crazy stuff going down. And I think I used to be more of a scaredy cat. I feel like I was very afraid of horror movies. I'm still like the guy who's like in the horror movie, and I'm like, like watching, eating my popcorn, and then like I'm like this. I'm like looking through my fingers and stuff like that. Even in this film, I was like sat back on my like all the way back like this, and then I was like, I was so stressed. And I think this is like the most scared I've ever felt in a film. Um, like, and I think, yeah, it was just such different scares, than I'm used to. Like, I think my only real experience with horrors and stuff like that is with, um, The Conjuring and Insidious, And then serial killer movies, older movies like Halloween, Scream. I saw Texas Chainsaw. I've not seen Saw. I've not seen the torture porn stuff. Um, I'm interested to see that because that has like its whole fan base. But I feel like for me, that's just like, oh, that's just like making like gory, weird, squeamish stuff, just for the sake of it. Like, how weird can we get? Not, you know, what are we saying with the film? And I think with this film, with Obsession, they do have, um, oh, that's the wrong one. Okay. They do have something to say, I feel like they are, um, putting in some sort of message into it, because there's this whole idea of this girl that this guy asked to like love him, is that she's like losing her autonomy, losing her ability to speak out, and he's taking advantage of it, um, and kind of stretching into the how far a person will go to get what they want from another person, um, even if they don't want it. Because at first, obviously people don't know about the wish or whatever, and like it's like a joke. It makes sense that he would be like oblivious to that or not think of it, in that sense. But yeah, like I said, he gets a lot more morally gray, um, and then at some point I'm just like, whoa, I feel like you've already crossed the line, and you should have been already be doing something. I would have been already looking for, you know, caveats or, um, loopholes, and try to act on them. I mean, he does a little bit, but like love that's not real is not love as an obligation is not real love. Um, so that's what he couldn't get through his skull. Um, so I think it does have some sort of message, some sort of, you know, commentary on the idea of codependency, relationships, and then, group dynamics, friend group dynamics, and relationship dynamics, and just the corruption of what love is, I think it was just very interesting, very thought provoking, but also very, very scary. Um, but that's what I came for. When 10 o'clock show, I thought, I just saw, Hokum with, what's his name from Severance, Adam, I forget, doesn't matter. And I was fine with that, but then I saw this, and I was completely out of it. I was like really, um, just fucked up. Okay, make this move. Really fucked up. Like I was, like I said, just driving through, just like, and it's like late at night. It's like I'm feeling like, if you've seen The Weekend, like his old, on Thursday, like The Zone, and it's like, or the Stanley Kubrick, Clockwork Orange, when they're just driving down that path, and it's all dark, and there's nothing to see, and going off this poster, like this guy, like a lot of these scenes are in the car. So like we got in the car, and I'm like looking at my mom. I'm like, oh my god, like at any moment someone could just like rush through the freaking, um, car window, and just like grab me. Um, because they, like I said, they always like leave an open spot in the framing, for something to come in. And I think it was also really cool that they did it in Academy ratio, where it's like more of a box. Because it made, I mean, I'm kind of in a box right now, because it makes like the framing, like anytime you're holding on a person or doing any sort of like medium close up, it really takes up a lot of the space. Um, so when there is kind of in how do I maneuver? When there is kind of an open spot, it sticks out. And so imagine this is the car window. Like it really is emphasized in that tight spacing of the frame because you're so used to it being right here and like, the shoulders really fill it out, or it's like a close up. Um, but yeah, really just great filmmaking, and I think also what's made me have a respect for horror more is I think I'm a big Chainsaw Man fan. Um, say what you will about the ending, blah 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 blah, but I think Fujimoto and his love for horror has influenced me because I was like, when I'm uh, getting, whenever I have an artist or, a person that I like, I try to like get interested in what they're interested in and why, what makes them, you know, filter through and find this to kind of exert, I guess. I don't know if I'm wording this correctly, but you know what I mean? Like, how do their influences, like, or I guess when you're looking at a piece of work, like an artistic piece of work, you're looking at the the trunk of the tree. But then you now I want to see like the branches and where it came from to get to this, um, to see how it all like connects. So I was really looking at well, Chainsaw Man is obviously inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I know that Fujimoto was also interested in a lot of um, uh, Korean horror films. So I was looking at those. I just watched I Saw the Devil, and I was watching Memoirs of a Murder. I feel like that one wasn't that scary. I feel like that's more of a thriller. And oh, The Wailing was pretty good. Um, Also, speaking of just Korean filmmaking, definitely check out No Other Choice. That's fire. Let me see if I can pull it up. No Other Choice. You guys should all check this out. I'm really. Image a new tab. Come on. Right, it's not. Okay, but it's not. It's not gonna be in frame. But I'll just try. Uh, uh, uh. Here, I'll bring this to the front. Oh my god, bro. This pissed me off. Come on. Let me I'm still learning how to use OBS, so like don't clown me right now. But No Other Choice, really good. A guy from Squid Game. Also Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe. Let's go. Asian representation on the action films back in the day. And I'm moving the camera wrong. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's also a good film. I feel like Uh, what other horror movies? Um, this isn't really a horror movie, but like, um, it, let me have a sip of water. Tasty. I don't know if you can hear me gulping and shit. Um, Korean horror movies. I know that Fujimoto was also influenced by The Chaser, um, as well, and that film's really good. And in The Chaser, like I think they like to do a lot of like midpoint twists in Korean films. So speaking of midpoint twists, The Handmaiden is also good, also by Park Chan Wook. Um, Also, just Park Chan Wook's um, like obviously a lot of people know Old Boy, but you should also check out Decision to Leave. Decision to Leave is really good. Um, I feel like I don't know why I'm blanking on all of my Korean horror movies that I watched. I did watch The Ring. That's Japanese. And then I did watch what else? Uh, Let me pull up my watch list or yeah. Films. All right, I'm getting so many ads right now. Hold up. I'll get to it, and I'll be able to list it off. Let's go genre horror. Ooh, also see Perfect Blue. That's a good one. Um, and I think just framing wise, that horror films really got like I was kind of talking about this earlier, but like horror films have to focus a lot on framing because they like to like hold on things and really like make you sit in uncomfortable framing. And like just the lighting choices are very intentional, um, because they're really trying to make an effect. Um, so I feel like if I feel like cinema wise, like they're really just an open playground to kind of um, absorb really good shot selection and um, cinematography more than I feel like any other genre because I feel like other genres can like not that horror doesn't have story but like most other genres are more story centered so it's like the the framing in a horror movie is centered for scares and then framing for other movies is centered for the emphasis of the story beats but it really sticks out more in horror movies because they're really trying to get a visceral reaction out of you and like get your heart pumping. So I think it just yeah stands out more. It's more highlighted and um, felt because that's the whole point. Um, Barbarian is good. I feel like what else? Damn, I really have not watched a lot of horror movies. I did watch The Shining. I watched it on the airplane with the shittiest fucking grainiest sound ever. Um, and I wasn't that scared at all. I mean, I was definitely scared of Jack Nicholson, but I'm just honestly every time I see him, his face is kind of freaky, um, and he looks like he's gonna like in his interviews and stuff, he looks like he's gonna attack me. Um, but yeah, he is very unsettling in that. But I don't think I was too scared. I think I thought I was gonna get more scared than I did. But I think just old horror movies like with you know, that focus on practical effects really get me. Uh, I feel like I don't know. This has been said a lot before, but the smoothness and the CGI feel like, because I know it's CGI, then I'm able to have like a level of separation. Um, so I don't feel scared as much. But like practical effects, because it's like actually really there, and like um, I'm very much more on edge because it feels like when I leave the theater or I leave, after watching it, I feel like it still could happen. Even if it's ghost or whatever, like, because I have an image in my mind of something real, if you get what I mean. And that's why I also think Obsession is really good because it's very minimal. It's only like four characters for real, and then they just have like the it's all practical, very very indie horror. So it's not like um, you know like the Thing remake or uh, something like, I don't know, the A Quiet Place or something, where these monstrous things, um, or uh, the new Alien movies and stuff like that, or the Predator, where it's like these CGI monsters. Speaking of those films, Alien Romulus is really good, and I feel Smile 2 is actually really good. The creature in that is scary, but because it's so CGI, it's like the more scary parts are the stuff leading up to it. Um, what else have I watched? Us, Us. I was kind of like I did like it. Twist though is crazy. I was not expecting it. I mean, I was high when I was watching it, and it was 4 a.m., so I wasn't really working off the best gear up here. Um, but yeah, pretty crazy twist. Train to Busan, that's a good one. For Korean horror. What else? Babadook was not that scary, and I don't know. I feel like I had high hopes when I was watching it, but I watched it on Halloween. It was like I was kind of like laughing at it more than I was scared of it. Midsummer is good, but I feel like it's a little. Um, it is unnerving, but I feel like it's a little meandering, and I think that is kind of the point. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I don't know. It wasn't that. It is. I feel like it is just unnerving more than like scary, and Hereditary I think is the same thing for me. I don't think Hereditary is meandering. Um, I think I like the messaging and the story of Hereditary more than I think I got a visceral reaction out of it. Okay, I'm gonna. What else? Um, A Cabin in the Woods is not really a scary film. American Psycho is not scary. Friday the 13th, I thought was gonna be more scary. I thought there was gonna be a lot more killing. I think also because I watched the kill count for it, that I think I didn't watch it like recently before I watched it, so it was kind of like foggy. But I did know a lot of the kills and stuff and what was gonna go down. But it wasn't too bad. Like I'll watch like the kill count, like the Dead Meat channel, um, before, and then I'll like watch it a year later, and even after a year and knowing what kind of is gonna go down, it still is like, whoa. But I didn't really have that for Friday the 13th. Halloween was also very kind of underwhelming. I feel like, you know what, because I consider myself more of a scaredy cat. I feel like I have to do a lot of emotional prep and mental prep for a horror movie, and if I have built it up so much in my head and it's not that scary, then I get kind of disappointed, because I feel like I I prepped myself too much, that I missed out on being scared. Because you know, I feel like for people who like scary movies and don't get scared a lot, that's kind of you're kind of missing out. Like when I watch a scary movie, I like to be scared, and I like the feeling of being scared. Now, am I always in the mood for it? No. That's why I feel like I'm not. I'm growing into a horror fan, but I'm not a horror fan at the moment. But yeah, like I like the feeling of like, you know, palpitating, having a palpitating chest and like being on edge. Like gripping my head, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Like I like that, and I feel like I respect when a film is able to get that out of me. Goes to show why I liked Obsession. Um, but like I feel like if you're a horror fan and you're just there and you're like, I guess because they're so desensitized to it, but if you're just there and you're just like something like horrific is happening and you're just like, mm, wow, like then I feel like, it's not fun. Like I want to feel adrenaline. Um, I did watch Jennifer's Body quite recently. Um, that one's okay. I feel like it has like a lot of it does have, iconography, I guess, to it, and I get why it like has a cult pull, but I don't know. I wasn't that uh enthralled by it. Um, but it is a good watch. You should just watch. Um, damn. I feel like I did like this. The Exorcist was really scary. I don't know. The ghost stuff really gets me. I don't know. I am a little bit superstitious, I guess. What else? How long have I been on stream, bro? Damn, I've been talking for 50 minutes. I guess that's good exercise, for my yapping skills. Um, but I'm gonna be promoting this stuff more, and then um, I guess I'm doing it kind of low pressure because there's a chance that people will watch, but also like, uh, it is only like a couple, so I don't like have to feel super on edge. But yeah, getting used to it, getting more comfortable. Malignant is actually a crazy movie. I don't think it's scary. I think it's just like crazy what what goes down. It's like I don't even know. Like it's like the most wildest thing I've ever seen. Um, what? Is there any? I feel like Devilman Crybaby should be called a horror, right? Like I feel like that ticks the box. Um, I'm just looking at my whole like films I've watched. Guys, if you want intense K drama, The Glory. I know that's kind of like a basic pick, but The Glory is a good one. Um, Yo, anyone in the chat to type their favorite films? No, no, it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I'm learning. Burning is a Korean film. I feel like it's almost a horror. It's more like a thriller, I guess, but it is very unsettling. Hmm. Gone Girl, I feel like, I guess this is more thriller stuff, but Gone Girl, I think, is like very scary and a lot more real and a lot more, um, just, I guess, societally unsettling or like just in real life unsettling, because it sticks with you afterward. Nightcrawler is another one. Um, yeah, those are freaky. Um, what? Seven, I feel like could be is going into horror territory. Like Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. I do a lot of snapping, I noticed. It's kind of strange. No, give all you got under the moon. Um, I don't know, but I do like when films are able to incorporate some level of horror. Um, Chainsaw Man, Reze Arc, when she goes to the public safety area. Um, but yeah, just wanted to talk about movies. I think I'm gonna end stream pretty much now, but because I feel like I went through Weapons is pretty good, pretty decent, pretty solid, um, but just wanted to share what I've been watching, talk movies a bit, um, and also I think it's just very inspiring, very inspiring to see, young creators like that. Like, he's only 25, Curry Barker, um, and is on YouTube, is on socials, and is able to go, did the festival circuit, but was able to make, such like impactful film with only $1 million budget, and he's only get that budget from making short film, sketch comedy stuff. So that's an inspiring story to see, and then also like I'm excited to see now. Like, I hope the hype train is able to keep chugging because Backrooms is coming out soon, so hope that is also pretty fire. Um, Pretty fire. It's like Christopher Walken. I don't know. I'm not really good at impressions, but yeah, that should be good. A lot of stuff coming on the template. Excited for Dune. Excited for the Odyssey. Um, what else is coming out? I don't know. Yeah, film, man. Film theaters got. Anyone got the A list? AMC A listers. AMC A listers in the chat. No, okay. It's just me in the chat watching myself. Um, what else, bro? I feel like there's like a horror movie that I'm thinking of that like it's not coming to mind at the moment. but it's like itching at the back of my skull, like to be said and to be shouted out. Um, the Lighthouse is pretty good. Um, that's also done in the academy, kind of, you know, shorter ratio. Um, oh, The Fly. You guys should watch The Fly. That's a good one. The Fly. The Fly is very like, ooh, oh my God, Jeff Goldblum when he comes out the pod. Wow, Jesus Christ, man. Uh, looking pretty fly, Jeff Goldblum. What's that? What's that Gambino lyric? I forget. I don't know. All right, I've been on for. Should I just go hit the hour mark? I feel like I should just do. I only have 3 minutes left, so um, Jaws. I had so much hope for, and I also grew up as a kid like very scared of Jaws because, and I was also kind of like banned from my family from seeing it because, like I was already afraid of sharks because I watched Soul Surfer, which is about like the girl who lost her arm or whatever, or leg, and like I never wanted to go back in the water, and like my dad had an interest in surfing, and after I saw that film, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to go anymore. Um, cause I don't know. I was afraid, and then I like saw Shark Tank, and then I don't know if this is true, but this is how I remember it. Is that like if you're on the board and like your arms is like sticking out, like on a surfboard, your arms are like sticking out, and your legs are sticking out, then you look like a turtle, and then the shark will want to like come up underneath and eat the turtle, like its arms and stuff. That freaked me out. So then I was like, I'm fucking done with the water. Um, Even though I don't live near shark infested areas, but I was like fucking, I don't know, 13, 10, whatever. I don't know. Young, but not fucking around with sharks. So I definitely was like not fucking around with Jaws because like literally that's what the movie is about, like a fucking huge ass shark eating people. Fuck no. Um but then I finally got hyped to watch it in junior year, and then it's not even that fucking scary. I feel like it's so hyped up in my mind, and obviously, you know, praise be to um, the film, respect for its cultural relevance, whatever, cultural history. Um, but honestly, I thought it was like whatever. Um, and you know, it's probably because I seen so many of the scenes online and stuff, and I knew the plot. I did not know. Spoiler alert! I did not know the fucking whatever. The guy who's like, it's a doll's eyes. You look at those black eyes like a doll's eyes, and then you know you say your soul, blah 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 blah. I didn't know you like got fucking bit in half and then eaten. That was pretty crazy. But that was more like almost like an action shot more than like, oh my god, I'm scared. It's scary. I'm like on edge. Or like I'm like, holy shit. Um, but yeah, I wasn't really, you know, didn't really have that visceral reaction after I had like years, decade almost of hyping it up in my mind. But I guess that's like how I said before, kind of overhype it, over prepare myself, mentally prepare myself for like these big reactions that I might have, or like the amount of like emotional turmoil that I might like go through about like some like, fucking motherfucking ghost spirit serial killer on my fucking screen. And then if it's not, then I'm just like, oh damn. Cause I want that adrenaline. Anyways, yeah, go see Obsession and go see all those other movies I shouted out if people were there for that. Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna end it.